Hey, Debbie, somebody asked me how to find us on the internets.
I don't know. I don't know how they use it. Megan? Help.
If you just search Middle Ground Books, you should find us.
Really?
We have a Google business profile where you can click on our website. You can find our phone number to give us a call. And yeah, you can find our social media platforms that we are on, such as Instagram.
Could they text our phone number too?
You can text our phone number.
Okay.
We frequently text people when their books that they have ordered have arrived.
People can order books from us?
They can.
What if they live in Sweden and they want to order books from us?
Well, they can go to our website and click the shop button, and that will take them to bookshop.org, where they can support our bookstore from afar and buy books online and have them shipped to them.
Can they buy ebooks if they don't want to wait on shipping?
They absolutely can. Bookshop.org now has ebooks. It's pretty incredible. If you are a fan of audiobooks, you can also click the link on our website for Libro FM and support our bookstore via purchasing audiobooks or subscribing.
Then I could listen in my car.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Hey, and welcome to Middle Ground Books After Hours.
My name is Megan.
I'm Debra.
And I am Lance. We're still actually recovering from the last episode. I hope you are all okay after that. I hope nobody just said, forget this, I'm not doing this anymore. After the Harlequin romance. Ron, we really put Ron through it on that
something.
one. Yeah, and Ron actually, so if you're listening to us on YouTube, hopefully you noticed that Ron actually had to, he posted
severely
something.
censored.
Yeah, something different on YouTube. And it wasn't because we said anything. It was what we actually read out of the book was what was objectionable content. And I didn't even read anything bad.
It really wasn't too racy.
I was talking about architecture.
Well,
the bad boy architect.
Yes.
Yeah. Some of the names of some of the rooms.
Okay,
anyway.
Yeah, we're not going to say that because we don't want to censor this episode as well.
Thank you for hanging out with us. We're talking about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the OG, and the continuation of the increasingly inaptly named trilogy that has been extended by Eoin Colfer and another thing.
To include, this is now the 6th book in the trilogy. So,
yeah, and I was reading that Douglas considered doing a 6th book, but he unfortunately passed away before that could happen. So
far out in the uncharted backwaters of the unfashionable end of the western spiral arm of the galaxy lies a small, unregarded yellow sun. Orbiting this at a distance of roughly 92 million miles is an utterly insignificant little blue-green planet whose ape-descended life forms are so amazingly primitive that they still think digital watches are a pretty neat idea. This planet has, or rather had, a problem, which was this. Most of the people living on it were unhappy for pretty much of the time. Many solutions were suggested for this problem, but most of these were largely concerned with the movements of small green pieces of paper, which is odd because on the whole, it wasn't the small green pieces of paper that were unhappy. And so the problem remained. Lots of the people were mean, and most of them were miserable, even the ones with digital watches. Many were increasingly of the opinions that they'd made a big mistake in coming down from the trees in the first place, and some said that even the trees had been a bad move and that no one should have ever left the oceans. And then, one Thursday, nearly 2,000 years after one man had been nailed to a tree for saying how great it would be to be nice to people for a change, a girl sitting on her own in a cafe in Rixmanworth suddenly realized what it was that had been going wrong all this time, and she finally knew how the world could be made a good and happy place. This time it was right, it would work, and no one would have to get nailed to anything. Sadly, however, before she could get to a phone to tell anyone about it, a terrible, stupid catastrophe occurred, and the idea was lost forever. So begins. Should I leave off there?
Wherever you like.
Yeah.
No, I have to go on a little bit more.
I mean,
it's so
all so
yeah,
good.
It is good.
This is not her story, but it is the story of that terrible, stupid catastrophe and some of its consequences. It is also the story of a book called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Not an Earth book, never published on Earth, and until the terrible catastrophe occurred, never even seen or heard of by any Earthmen. Nevertheless, a wholly remarkable book. In fact, it was probably the most remarkable book ever to come out of the great publishing corporations of Ursa Minor, of which no Earthman had ever heard either. Not only is it a wholly remarkable book, it is also a highly successful one, more popular than the Celestial Home Care Omnibus, better selling than 53 More Things to Do in Zero Gravity, and more controversial than Eoin Colfer's trilogy of philosophical blockbusters, Where God Went Wrong, Some More of God's Greatest Mistakes, and Who Is This God Person Anyway? In many of the more relaxed civilizations on the outer eastern rim of the galaxy, the Hitchhiker's Guide has already supplanted the great Encyclopedia Galactica as the standard repository of all knowledge and wisdom, for though it has many omissions and contains much that is apocryphal, or at least wildly inaccurate, it scores over the older, more pedestrian work in two important respects. First, it is slightly cheaper, and secondly, it has the words "Don't Panic" inscribed in large, friendly letters on its cover. But the story of this terrible, stupid Thursday, the story of its extraordinary consequences, and the story of how these consequences are inextricably intertwined with this remarkable book begins very simply. It begins with a house.
So yeah, that's the introduction to The Hitchhiker's Guide, if you were not familiar.
And if you've never read it before, I bet right now you're itching for more because it's one of the better beginnings. I mean, like, we've had conversations before about classic beginnings. Like, I love the beginning of Pride and Prejudice, and I love the beginning of The Little Prince, and I feel like this is another one of those classic or the beginning of The Hobbit.
Yeah.
A Tale of Two Cities.
Yeah, so many of the books that we love have a great beginning, and this one is no exception.
But before we go on to talk more about not only Hitchhiker's Guide and Douglas Adams and Another Thing by Eoin Colfer, what have we got going on at the beginning of August?
Okay, well, Sunday, August 2nd is a national holiday, national day that maybe you've never heard of because it was a new one to me, but I am totally going to start observing it from this year and henceforth. It is National Coloring Book Day.
Yay.
Yay! Woo! I mean, like, it's one of my current favorite pastimes right now to color in my color book as we are listening to an audiobook or as Lance is reading an audiobook, a book aloud to us. He's not an audiobook. He's a human, but you know. So August 2nd, come into the store to buy your coloring books. We have some really cool, fun ones that are related to your nerddoms, and we even have some on our clearance. So come in and check that out. And August 7th, of course, that will be First Friday, and there will be an artist in residence in our store and at other stores all up and down Commercial Avenue.
Also, we have a lot of changes coming in August in the Café.
Yes.
We will be probably shortening up our hours so that basically I can do more work with books and less washing dishes. We will finalize those hours coming up, but if you're in the Emporia area, we will have some changes coming, both in terms of menu items. We will still have cold snacks and drinks available all day, but likely we will not have. Our ovens will probably be on for a shorter time during each day.
Also coming up, we've got on August 8th, story time with Debra, and our second breakfast book club.
I'm excited. We're going to be doing the Red Pyramid, and we're going to be having Egyptian food.
Which I asked you what Egyptian food was, and you said beer.
I mean,
and I was like, well, yes, that is correct.
But we'll probably have some kids there, too. So we'll have to have some kids' beer.
So The Red Pyramid by Rick Riordan is going to be the book paired with food for that Saturday. And it's also International Cat Day. So, yeah, be sure to post about that. Like, tag us with a picture of you and your cat.
And your read.
Whatever you're reading right now.
All you have to do is just sit down with your book.
And your cat will interrupt it.
Yes.
I have so many pictures and videos of my cats interrupting my book. So, yeah.
Yeah, they like to sit on top of your book, or
really
they like
do.
to come between you and your book and show you their butt.
Yep. We love cats. And it's funny because just before I started talking about this, our cats were like having zoomies in the background here. Yeah.
International Cat Day, but only National Dog Day. Evidently,
we'll
the world could not get together on that one.
We'll talk about that later on in the month.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay. So what we said is that today we're going to be talking about two books. Douglas Adams' classic, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and now Eoin Colfer's And Another Thing, Book 6 in the increasingly misnamed trilogy. So I want to just talk a little bit about Well, should I talk about the things that I liked from one to the other or the things that I didn't like so much from one to the other?
Why don't we just start out with reading something from Eoin Colfer? Because we've still got, like Douglas Adams, his prologue kind of already fresh in our minds. And the girls are the ones who picked out the passages tonight. So they're going to be doing most of the reading.
Okay. But passages that I picked out from the new one will be completely meaningless without the context of the first one.
Then do the first one.
Something that I really appreciate about Eoin Colfer's book is that there is continuity of some characters that we first met in the very first book, and they show up again in the new one by Eoin Colfer. So I want to talk about the Vogons, because in this portion that Lance read, it talked about how there was a senseless thing that happened on Thursday. And what that was is that the Vogon construction ship came to basically destroy the Earth to make a new bypass for the intergalactic travel. And so the hero of the story and his friend have escaped onto the Vogon ship. And in this part, they are being taken to the leader of the Vogon ship. And the Vogons are not a very particularly nice alien race. And they think they like poetry, but their poetry is horrible. So It says, Prosthesnik Vogon Jeltz smiled very slowly. This was done not so much for effect as because he was trying to remember the sequence of muscle movements. He had had a terrible therapeutic yell at his prisoners and was now quite relaxed and ready for a little callousness. The prisoners sat in poetry appreciation chairs, strapped in. Vogon suffered no illusions as to the regard their works were generally held in. Their early attempts at composition had been part of a bludgeoning insistence that they be accepted as a properly evolved and cultured race, but now the only thing that kept them going was sheer bloody-mindedness. The sweat stood out on Ford Prefect's brow and slid round the electroid strapped to his temples. These were attached to a battery of electronic equipment, imagery intensifiers, rhythmic modulators, alliterative residuals, and simile dumpers, all designed to heighten the experience of the poem and make sure that not a single nuance of the poet's thought was lost. Arthur Dent sat and quivered. He's the Earthling who has escaped. He had no idea what he was in for, but he knew that he hadn't liked anything that had happened so far and didn't think things were likely to change. The Vogon began to read a fetid little passage of his own devising. "O freddled Grundbugly," he began. Spasms racked Ford's body. This was worse than even he had been prepared for. "Thy micturations are to me as plurtled gabble-blotchets on a lurgid bee." "Ah!" went Ford Prefect, wrenching his head back as lumps of pain thumped through it. He could dimly see beside him Arthur lolling and rolling in his seat. He clenched his teeth. "Group, I implore thee," continued the merciless Vogon, "my funting turling dromes." His voice was rising to a horrible pitch of impassioned stridency. "And hooptitiously drangle me with crinkly bindle wordles, or I will rend thee in the gobberwarts with my blurgle crunchin'. See if I don't." cried Ford Prefect, and threw one final spasm as the electronic enhancement of the last line caught him full blast across the temples. He went limp. Arthur lolled.
It's a pretty bad poetry. It's torture, literally.
So, in Ian's continuation, and another thing, Prostetnik
Vogon Jeltz
shows up again. And so he is concerned because he was commissioned to take out the planet Earth, and he also takes that to mean that he was to kill every single Earthling. Right. And in this, he did not succeed because both Arthur and Trillian
escape.
Yes. And so I'm trying to should have marked exactly where to start. Prostetnik Jeltz. Obviously constant. I wear a name tag to help people to find me. It saves time when you're dealing with idiots. The subordinate bobbed. "Yes, Prostetnik, of course, sir. Did you want something, Constant Moan?" "You said to inform you when we were ready for hyperspace." A contented sigh dribbled from between Jeltz's lips. Hyperspace. It was said that Vogons only experienced the emotion known as happiness when they were lost in hyperspace. The skin was pulled back, bones pushed together. A person felt almost evolved in hyperspace, and there was a lack of control that had a dark deliciousness to it, and there was a small chance that one could end up anywhere without the proper visa. Very well, Constant. Plot our course through Earth space. Might as well be the first to use the route now that there's no Earth in the way, and no Earthlings left to complain. Constant moaned bobbed twice, then froze, head cocked like a confused Scornhellus Zeta mattress. Problem, Moan? Moan was reluctant to deliver any news of any kind. In his experience, news delivered to superiors invariably ended up being bad news, even if it had seemed good when one opened one's mouth to deliver it. No, sir, no problem. As you said, there is no Earth, Jeltz burbled with his pendulous bottom lip, and no Earthlings. The order clearly states that no Earthlings are to be left alive. The Imperial government does not want some displaced humanoids demanding their day in court. Indeed, Prostetnik. Well said. Nice sentence structure. Jeltz rubbed his side where the kidney drain chafed his skin. Are there Earthlings left alive, Constant? There are rumors of a new colony in the Sulianius Nebula, admitted Moan, the words leaking out of his face. Jeltz gurgled for a long moment. Sulianus? Isn't the mythical Magrathia supposed to be in Sulianus? Correct, Prostetnik. Well remembered. A vein fluttered in one of Jeltz's eyelids. You said rumors, Constant Moan. What kind of rumors? They, the Earthlings, put an advertisement in the Woohoo magazine personals. An advertisement? Spluttered Jeltz, offended for some reason. Show me. Of course, Prostetnik. Moan scuttled across to a computer terminal, flexed his fingers, then punched the operator in the tender spot between the shoulder blades until he brought up the appropriate page on screen. There it is, Prostetnik. The link is dead now. They're not taking any more resumes. Jeltz read the advertisement carefully, gargling all the while. Nice of them to provide their coordinates, he noted. What would you do, Constant, in my place? Would you allow these Earthlings to live? After all, their planet was the main target. Would you follow your orders to the letter and make the long journey to Solanius to obliterate this colony? Moan did not hesitate. We are Vogon, Prostetnik. I cannot even file the paperwork until the Earthlings are dead. That was the correct response, Moan, said Jeltz. 11 jumps to Sulianus, I think. The Constant bobbed an affirmative bob. I will program the drive immediately, Prostetnik. We can charge the unnecessarily painful, slow death torpedoes on the trip. Hyperspace static will give them a little extra steam. Jeltz nodded approvingly. You, Moan, are an utter bastard. Moan tried to salute, flinging a tiny arm across an expansive gullet in the direction of his head. Thanks, Dad, he said. So that's something I like, that we get to revisit the characters from the old books and see them again. Because, you know, that's the only good thing about a sequel. Right.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to maybe take a step back because in some ways, so we know Eoin Colfer largely from the Artemis Fowl series.
Yes.
I didn't know this thing published in 2009. So we did a YouTube video quite some time ago where we talked about different books from that one guy who got canceled and we don't even know who he is anymore. But he wrote a book specifically about Douglas Adams and called Don't Panic. And he talked about the entire...
Yeah. Well, I mean, Douglas Adams was very influential, so...
Yeah. And
so check out that previous video that's on this YouTube channel if you're watching.
About the guy who doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
But... so this actually came out in 2009, which kind of bothers me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it seems like this should have been
big news.
Well, I think it was controversial because some people didn't want anyone else to take over the 6th book.
I agree.
I mean, because he's so beloved, I think a lot of people were very upset that someone else was going to take over Douglas Adams' series.
Well, the simple fact is, Douglas Adams could never keep a deadline anyway.
Well, yeah. Well, and that's what, like I said, I remember I read something that he was he had planned to do a 6th book, but it didn't happen before he passed. And so
this, so compared to the new Star Wars movies and the OG Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
What, is there a comparison in this? Is this from Hitchhiker's Guide, the original, the OG, to Eoin Colfer? Is this a Disney Star Wars?
Kinda, because in my opinion, the Douglas Adams, especially the first volume, all of the notes that come from the Hitchhiker's Guide are like prescient. Like he predicts all kinds of things that happened afterwards, and he also gives biting commentary on politics and on economic systems and on religious systems. And Eoin Colfer, he had guide notes in there, but they capitalized on the ridiculousness element that Adams did, but I didn't get any of the biting commentary.
They were in regard to like weird made up stuff. Like,
right. Yeah. And they didn't really comment on political systems or economic systems or social systems in the same way that Douglas Adams did. Like Douglas Adams was ridiculous and it made you laugh, but it also had some substance that made you go, he's right.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of this was ridiculous, but it made me chuckle still. Like, wow.
And I guess that's one thing maybe I want to throw out is that Douglas Adams, like, he was first and foremost a comedian. He was a comic. Like, he wrote for the BBC. He actually has one Doctor Who episode. Like, originally, Hitchhiker's Guide was a radio serial. A radio serial that he was sometimes actually writing while they were performing it.
Because of his
inability to meet deadlines.
I think you and Douglas, Megan, you guys would like that would work. And so he was primarily...
it would not work, actually.
So he had these gags, and then he had to actually write until he could make the joke. I did laugh. Like, there were some laugh out loud moments in this book. But
Wait, the new one, you mean?
Yeah, in Eoin Colfer's book, there were some things that were funny, but I don't feel like he worked as hard for the laugh as Douglas Adams did.
Yeah, I mean, though, how can you, like, live up to... I think it would be hard to try to follow in those footsteps. That's some big shoes to fill.
I think he did fine with the laughs and the ridiculousness. I feel like where he falls short is the relevance to actual important things in life.
The socio-political commentary.
He tried in that one scene with Arthur and Fenchurch talking about love and life. He tried, but it didn't quite land for me.
Yeah. This is another character that gets brought back into things. So this is kind of a description of that character and what his deal is. And I kind of enjoyed coming back to this character. It says, guide note. This alien, it can now be revealed, was Wowbagger the Infinitely Prolonged, who became immortal due to an accident involving a particle accelerator and an unwillingness to sacrifice 2 of his elastic bands. It must be pointed out that the elastic bands held a special significance to Wowbagger, as in his culture, elastic bands are religious symbols representing the circuitous and elastic nature of the god Polyphil-Ah. After his incident, the arch-prominent of the Church of C of E proclaimed that Wowbagger's newfound immortality was a definite sign of the faithful. Wowbagger proclaimed that it was a definite pain in the and that it had put him right off elastic bands. After several millennia wallowing in sulky boredom, Wowbagger set himself the challenge of visiting every occupied world in the universe to sample their indigenous beers. This was the beginning of what historians call his Amber Period, during which Wowbagger put on a lot of weight and discovered a talent for insulting people. One morning, Wowbagger realized, after his morning retch, that he actually enjoyed insulting people more than drinking beer, and so decided to switch challenges in midstream. His new task, he determined, would be to insult every single sentient being in the universe in alphabetical order. Because Wowbagger was such a good-looking guy, and his spaceship had such distinctive lines, the media soon got wind of his quest, and Wowbagger would land on a planet to discover the entire population lined up in alphabetical order, screaming to be insulted, which kind of took the good out of it for him. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought that his whole deal is really funny. Like, his whole goal is to just go around and insult everyone.
And that was actually introduced by Douglas Adams in a previous, so all of that was sort of recap to let you know, hey, this is who this guy is, in case you didn't read that other book, I guess.
Yeah. I also read a little bit, so like reading about the character and like where he appears, and then there was like a little note that apparently on the internet for a while there was an insult generator named Wowbagger online.
That's kind of fun.
And I'm like, that's hilarious. I love nerds.
Well, and as we're talking about WoW, we are also drinking gin and tonics. There's a lot about booze in Douglas Adams, like the Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster.
Yes.
The tooth of an Algolian sun tiger and bubbled through, like benzene bubbled through it or something. And the experience is like having your brain smashed out by a lemon wrapped around a gold brick.
Yeah.
The Hitchhiker's Guide tells where to find the best one and then also points out the places where you can get rehabilitation after you've had one.
After you've had one, yeah.
Well, and it points out that gin and tonics are present in like every star system and every, like it's spelled slightly different, but it's still, when you pronounce it, it still comes out
gin and
tonics.
Still a good old G&T.
So I want to read just a couple of highlights. So like what I was talking about, how Douglas Adams' commentary on societies and politics and so on. So this is in the original book, a guide note about Zaphod Beeblebrox being president of the Imperial Galactic Empire. And so this is from the note. The president in particular is very much a figurehead. He wields no real power whatsoever. He is apparently chosen by the government, but the qualities he is required to display are not those of leadership, but those of finely judged outrage. For this reason, the president is always a controversial choice, always an infuriating but fascinating character. His job is not to wield power, but to draw attention away from it. On those criteria, Zaphod Beeblebrox is one of the most successful presidents the galaxy has ever had. He has already spent 2 of his 10 presidential years in prison for fraud. Very, very few people realize that the president and the government have virtually no power at all, and that of these few people, only 6 know whence ultimate political power is wielded. Most of the others secretly believe that the ultimate decision-making process is handled by a computer. They couldn't be more wrong. And as you go on and read more in Hitchhiker's Guide, you find out who Douglas Adams makes be the real person in charge of the whole universe. But I just think that it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
how fitting that the galactic president is a total moron.
Right. And then here's a second thing that touches more on theology, and it will bring us back around to something Lance read in the introduction. So in this part, Ford and Arthur have just been captured by the Vogons, and Prostetnik is making an announcement that sounds to Arthur like, howl, howl, gargle, howl, gargle, gargle. And so Ford sticks a fish in his ear. So this is the explanation of the Babelfish from the Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yes.
The Babelfish, said the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy quietly, is small, yellow, and leech-like, and probably the oddest thing in the universe. It feeds on brainwave energy received not from its own carrier, but from those around it. It absorbs all unconscious mental frequencies from this brainwave energy to nourish itself with. It then excretes into the mind of its carrier a telepathic matrix formed by combining the conscious thought frequencies with nerve signals, blah, 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 blah. Here's the important part. Now, it is such a bizarrely improbable coincidence that anything so mind-bogglingly useful could have evolved purely by chance that some thinkers have chosen to see it as a final and clinching proof of the non-existence of God. The argument goes something like this. I refuse to prove that I exist, says God, for proof denies faith, and without faith I am nothing. But, says man, the Babelfish is a dead giveaway, isn't it? It could not have evolved by chance. It proves you exist, and so therefore, by your own argument... Oh dear, says God, I hadn't thought of that, and promptly vanishes in a puff of logic. Oh, that was easy, says man, and for an encore goes on to prove that black is white and gets himself killed on the next zebra crossing. Most leading theologians claim that this argument is a load of dingo's kidneys, but that didn't stop Eoin Colfer, who Lance read in the beginning, making a small fortune when he used it as the central theme for his best-selling book. Well, that about wraps it up for God.
There is, like, I think, in terms of the zeitgeist, in terms of the underlying, I really feel like Eoin Colfer is not as nihilistic. He's not as pessimistic.
So maybe that's why you focused more on the silly things.
Yeah.
Like the laughs.
And to give like, in this book, we get to see the Nordic gods but you're a lot
did
of fun
love
to
that.
read.
I did enjoy Thor very much.
It was nice.
And Zaphod continues to be an idiot. And I'm going to read just one section. Zaphod drifted away from the conversation, already impatient with a situation that did not feature him. As a child, Zaphod had been diagnosed with ADHD, DAAA, DHD, and TMABT, which stood for always dreaming his dopey days away, also attention deficit hyperflatulence disorder, not to mention a bit thick. Even as an adult, Zaphod could not manage the condition because he could never remember what he suffered from. A couple of D's, he had told his pill guy on Eroticon 6, maybe an H, and was prescribed ointment for DDH, which was double-dose hemorrhoids. Zaphod stopped using the ointment after a couple of days because he couldn't keep it down.
That's so gross.
So that gives you an idea.
It does show that he's very stupid. I mean, that's how he got to be the president of the galaxy, remember?
I mean,
It is a thing. So if the original Hitchhiker's Guide, and we should widen this out to so long and thanks for all the fish and the
the restaurant at the end of the universe,
Yes,
and all the others.
yeah, the whole series.
What food would that be?
Like a McDonald's.
Or
Deep fat
it
fries.
would be the restaurant at the end of the universe where you like
where the cow begs you to kill and eat him.
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah,
Which we got in this new book, too.
Again, yeah, he brought back a lot of favorite characters.
Yeah.
That was nice.
and the Eoin Colfer book. What would it be?
A nice cup of tea. Poor Arthur through the whole thing. He's always just wanting a nice cup of tea. And
just
this one
wants his
had
tea.
it was nice because there were some old favorite characters who came back and there were some new characters that I liked. And Arthur didn't feature as much as I would have liked him to feature. Like there was too much Zaphod and not enough Arthur for my taste. But Arthur did show himself heroic and save the day in the end. So
Yeah.
a nice cup of tea for Arthur. What do you think?
The thing that jumps to my head is Scooby-Doo fruit snacks that are supposed to be Scooby snacks. Those things aren't the same.
Yeah.
Scooby snacks were dog biscuits
Yeah.
that Shaggy also ate,
Right.
which
Yeah.
Well, they've made the graham cracker cookies that are they look like dog biscuits, but
But they're still not dog
Yeah.
biscuits either.
no.
Yeah.
But
And
they're
s-
Scooby snacks.
Yeah, so it's like you're kind of cashing in a little bit on the nostalgia.
yeah.
It's a little bit like the Star Wars, because the one movie where they brought back Han Solo and they brought back Princess Leia, even though Carrie Fisher
She was already
died
dead.
in the
Yeah.
process, and so they brought them back to kind of kill them off. And I don't want to be it's tough. Like Eoin Colfer did not have an easy job to
No.
try to do this.
For sure.
But I think that's maybe part of it, that he really tried hard to maintain continuity, and it was cameos from old actors in lots of ways.
Yeah, I would agree.
What about you, Megan?
But I still enjoyed it. The newer Star Wars movies, I don't like as much the originals, but did I still go to the theater to see them? Abso-freaking-lutely I did.
And you enjoyed it. And
Yep.
yeah, same
I had a
thing.
great
Like
time.
I enjoyed this book as well. Like I said, I would have liked more Arthur and a little less Zaphod, because Zaphod, ugh. I hate that guy.
And before we wrap up, we just got to say, guys, wow, there are so many people who subscribe to our channel.
Thank you for subscribing.
And I kind of, maybe we should have just one episode. We read every name.
I don't know how to pronounce a lot of these, but
yeah. So what?
I could try.
We have some. Go ahead and you name a couple of yours. Yeah, you go.
Me?
Go, go.
Okay,
Yeah.
shout out to Cute Angela Chen and Simply Samantha and Cold Bobby. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. Megan?
Oh, I've got a lot. So there's Rosario Molina Palafox. There's Darren O'Connor, Gabriel Rosario, Ethan Rodriguez, Robin Russell,
Thanks for
and
subscribing.
many others. Yeah. Thank you.
I've got some great ones. Chamgadar 143. There's a riddle there. Or Norbit Peb
Maybe it's an
1074.
echo. 143.
Carmel Lambert, Toby Moore, Sergio Oscar Robles Davila, Piyush Raj Kushwahan, Carl Roth, number 1.
Thank you for subscribing.
Master Artist Christian Yahai Dream. And there was one that was one of my favorites, that it wasn't on my list, but it was just Stacy. how do you get to be just Stacy?
Yeah, I would think there would be a
everybody
number
else
after
She must
that.
be
doesn't
the
count.
real
She's
OG.
the original
like,
Stacy.
Everybody
Thank you,
else.
original Stacy. She's on my list.
Is she really?
Yeah.
You've got the OG Stacy.
I do.
Everybody else is just a pretender.
They're like after that, it's Stacy number 2, Stacy 3, Stacy 47,000.
And we also had a couple of comments. First of all, we had some more comments from Pottery Joe, because Pottery Joe's awesome. But you had some comments on the Jeff Hayes video, Megan.
Yes. So, I mean, everybody loves Jeff Hayes. He's an amazing audiobook narrator. So they were commenting on the Princess Donut Has Spoken video that we posted, where Jeff Hayes does a shout out as Princess Donut to our little Dungeon Crawler Carl book club, which was so
The
sweet.
Institute for Princess Donut
Yeah.
Studies.
And so someone, we've got Kim McCarthy, 7747. He sounds a little more like Zev, which isn't bad either, because apparently Kim also likes Zev. And then we have...
Satiro's Phil Brucato, 9140.
So they said, even when he's not performing Prepotente, Jeff Hayes is the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. He is a great audiobook narrator. It's true. And then we have Talia 3280 says, Jeff Hayes is a treasure. Thanks for this. It made my morning. So, yeah.
And it's kind of, yeah. So if you, hopefully next year at KC Comic-Con, they will actually pretend like he's a thing.
Because he
And-
is.
He is.
Yeah, which and if you were there, that he was actually at his booth like all day,
I was
every day.
shocked. I thought for sure he wasn't going to be there. He's a big deal now. And
Yeah, he's too cool
touring
for
with
school.
Matt.
But he's a sweetie, and
Yeah.
he's, a local guy. So
Yeah. So, and Weather King, Tiki Men Viking podcast. We are going to do the Necronomicon from Lovecraft. We haven't done it yet. It's gonna
we just
happen.
need time to read it.
Yes. What food pairs with Necronomicon? Turkraken or Cthulhu? Warning, if you look this up, it might inspire madness. We will get to it, but for next week, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be demanding. It's gonna be almost as hard as the whole.
We're going to need to go into training like Rocky.
Oh yeah,
I'm ready.
We've got a couple of books on wine. One of them is by Tom Gilby called Thirsty, and he gives a little guide on how to taste one, and then has like hero bottles that you can purchase. So for our next one, we will be
We're going to be drinking some wine.
Are we going to spit it out
Woo!
like sommeliers?
Nope, I'm drinking that stuff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're not going to spit it out.
All right.
I mean, it's going to
Hopefully
be
it's not gonna
progressively
be
more
a very
fun.
long episode.
Well, I don't
By
think
the
we
end,
can
we're
do
gonna
like
be
10
having a
bottles
great
or something.
time. Yeah.
All right. So until next time.
We'll meet you in the middle.
Hey, I'm Lance from Middle Ground Books. You've been listening to Middle Ground Books After Hours with Debra, Megan, and me. Frankly, you might deserve a medal for that action. Come see us at the store at 606 Commercial Street in Emporia. The store is a little like an introvert's fever dream. You're always welcome, and we'll always be glad to see you. Middle Ground Books After Hours is produced and remotely engineered by Cosmic Atom Sound Studios, producing the vision and making a sound. Cosmic Atom Sound Studios. Let's come together and build something new. Many thanks for hanging out with us this time, and until next time, we'll meet you in the middle.
Come on, Amelia, dance. Okay.
Roar like the Metro Goldwyn Mayer kitty. Go! Go, you
She's
can do
like
it.
the quiet one. She doesn't say
You
anything.
can do it. Meow.
She doesn't say anything. She's the quiet, sweet baby.